Hi, everyone. It's Tuesday. Thank you for attending Tuesdays with DRD. So every Tuesday, I've been giving you some nuggets on personal growth. So today, we're going to do a little break from talking about personal growth, and I wanted to share with you some of the books that I've been reading over the last couple of months. And so, one of the things that I've been working on is increasing my self awareness, limiting my self limiting beliefs, and just having the courage to do some things that maybe I wouldn't have done 6 months ago. So, today I'm going to share about 3 books that I've been reading over the last couple of months, and also, I wanted to say that there's a quote that says that there are 2 things in your life that will determine where you'll be in the next 5 years. And those 2 things will really influence who you will become over the next 5 years. One is the people around you. So depending on who you're around, that can determine how successful you'll be in 5 years, where you end up in 5 years, things of that nature. And then the other thing that will impact who you are in 5 years is the books you read. So I really look at that as being something that I'm more intentional on what type of books I am filling my mind and spirit with. So I want to share those things with you, and I encourage you, if you're listening, I'm watching either live or watching a recording, to just share with me what books you're reading and how those books have helped you. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I've read, and this is a book that I really listened to on Audible this summer. I've been walking my dog probably about 2, sometimes 3 miles a day in the mornings. And so I signed up for Audible, which I really encourage you if you're not a paper hardback book lover as much, because it was the opportunity to walk and listen and also get information as well. So the Success Principles by Jack Canfield is one of the books that I've listened to over the last probably about 2 months. Jack Canfield also wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. So if you're familiar with that book, then you will really enjoy the success principles. There are 64 success principles in the book. I really liked all of them, but I went through and picked out my 5 favorite success principles. And the first one that I found one of my favorites is take 100% responsibility of your life. And so what that means is that, especially as adults, sometimes we look back and we say, you know what, I could be so much further along if it wasn't for, one, the way I was raised. Two, that my parents didn't teach me about finances. Three, the person I dated in high school didn't have any ambition, so I didn't have any ambition, so I didn't go to the college that I really wanted to go to. So we kind of pick and choose who we want to blame for where we are in life. And at the end of the day, we really have to take 100% responsibility. What that means is I'm no longer going to blame my parents, my ex-boyfriend, a teacher that gave me bad advice, or even a manager that probably didn't see my potential and didn't put me in line for a promotion, or didn't give me the right raise that I think I should have deserved. So taking 100% responsibility says I no longer am going to blame anyone. Starting today, I am going to just, if anyone I'm gonna blame, I'm going to blame myself. So that principle said a lot to me. And then the next one is believe in yourself. I really dealt with a lot of depression and low self-esteem when I got out of high school until about probably about my late 20s. And one of the things was that I knew I can do many things, and I knew I was an influencer, and I knew I was able to pursue my dreams if I wanted to. But sometimes I just didn't believe in myself 100%. So that success principle really spoke to me and reminded me when I listened to the book that I need to believe in myself no matter what I decide to accomplish, or no matter what I decide that, hey, this is what I want to do, then I am just going to believe in myself and believe that I can do it. The third one is take action. Many, many times we have the most amazing ideas, whether we get it when we're going to sleep at night, or we're driving in the car, or we're just thinking about things, or we're in a meeting and we should be listening to the meeting, and we're like multitasking, and a bright idea will come in our heads. The other thing is sometimes we are someone will be put on our heart. And so I'm a person of faith. So I believe in God, and I believe that sometimes God will put someone on our heart for us to reach out to, for us to send a text to, or for us to pray for. And many times that will happen, and I will get God will tell me to maybe send them a card. And many times in the past, I would just not do it, or I would just take forever to buy the card. And then I would say, I don't have any stamps. So I would just make excuses after excuses. And then 2 weeks later, that whole opportunity is gone. And so take action can be applied in every area of our lives. When we think about how many times have we missed an opportunity, misconnecting with someone, miss being an influence in someone's life because we did not take action. So that's the third principle that became one of my favorites in the book. Number 4 is transform your inner critic to your inner coach. And that spoke and really resonated with me because many times and I think we all are at a certain point, we all are our worst critics. And so I've begun to change my mindset. So when I am about to do something new, or when I need to reach out to someone that I haven't maybe spoken to in a while, and I'm a little embarrassed that I haven't kept in touch, I will inside think, man, I should not reach out. But then I will turn around and encourage myself and say, reach out. This person may need you, or you may need them. And I will coach myself to do whatever that thing is that I know I need to do. So I really encourage you to switch that around, and how you talk to yourself, because we all I can be very negative, but we're so negative that if someone else said the same exact thing to us that we're negative about ourselves, we would be so upset, and we probably wouldn't even be their friend anymore if we did that. So like, separate from that inner critic, change that inner critic to be your inner coach, and you'll be surprised how much progress, how further you'll go along, just being able to coach yourself to um, to go and do whatever it is that you need to do. And the last one in the success principles, the last of the 5. Now remember, there are 64 success principles. I've only chosen my top 5 to give you just a highlight of how the book has really influenced my life. It influenced my mindset. It has given me changed my belief system. I'm no longer being an inner critic. I'm no longer thinking about what I cannot do, but I'm thinking about what I can do. And so number 5 is develop a positive money consciousness. Um, I grew up in a single parent home, single mom, and I'm the oldest of 7. So it was 7 of us in the house, 7 kids with my mom, and she struggled a lot, trying to raise us, keep us safe. And her ideal of money was not the most positive because we didn't have a lot of money, and she did her best. And so I really had a negative view of money where I thought only the rich people get rich and stay rich. And if I'm just a person who grew up in the south suburb of Chicago, went to a normal school, had a normal job, that I could not have a loss of money, or I could not be successful in my money. So the fifth principle of developing a positive money consciousness really spoke to me, and it really has changed the way I look at money, and I don't look at it as a negative thing. Knowing that if I love money or put money first, that is not good, but to be able to save money, to plan for my future, to be able to give, are so many positive things. And to be able to do some things that I always want to do are very positive things. So I shouldn't think of it as selfishness to want more money. And so those are the five things. And again, the book is Jack Canfield is the author, and the name of the book is The Success Principles. And again, there are 64 principles. So if you get a chance to pick up the book, there is a workbook. And so I started listening to the book on audio, and then I found out there was a workbook. So I started the workbook. And the first exercise in the workbook is, of course, take 100% responsibility for your life. So I went through these where Jack had us write statements about people that we blame. And I did that, and then I had to write a reverse statement. And it was life-changing. So if you are able to get the book, but also invest in the workbook, because I'm taking my time with it, so I'm not in a rush to do the workbook, but I'm spending time really completing the exercises, and I do see a change in my mindset as well. So Jack Canfield has a quote in the book, and it was interesting because I was walking and I heard him say this, and I had to stop walking. And on Audible, you're able to like take a note, make something like a note. So when I got back home, I actually wrote this down, and the quote says, "The present state of your bank account is nothing more than the previous manifestation of your previous thinking." And so that really tells me that my thinking affects so many areas of my life, and that your mindset, your mind is so important, and it's such a powerful tool that God has given us. And so through this personal growth, through coaching, through mastermind groups, through mentoring, through so many areas or so many venues, we can really change our mindset. So that was one of the quotes that I want to share with you from the book. The next book that I am reading, that actually I finished as well, is Grow Rich with Peace of Mind by Napoleon Hill. So if you're familiar with Napoleon Hill, he also wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. Unfortunately, I haven't read that book yet. I kind of found this book on Audible and started with this one. And then I actually ordered a hard copy of Think and Grow Rich, which I just started reading the end of last week. So this book I really like this book because it was not about money. And I know it sounds like it should be, right? So, grow rich with with peace of mind. So the first thing you think grow rich means get money. But really he was talking about so many other things that can help us to have a peace of mind. And think about it. How many times do you go to bed with a peace of mind? Many of you probably do not. I mean, there's been many times that I have not. I went to bed filled with anxiety, filled with worry, filled with sadness, filled with disappointment, filled with emotions that did not help me have a good night's sleep. And so Napoleon Hill just talks about in the book all the different ways that we can have peace of mind. And so I I wrote down for you, and I want to share with you three takeaways that I got from the book. The first one is remove all self-limiting beliefs. And a self-limiting belief is something that we believe that has really limited us from being the best we can be, from reaching our full potential, from going to the next level. Whether it's maybe you're applying for a job and you don't have all of the requirements, but you have the majority, plus you have additional requirements. But because you've been trained and through other careers or through guidance counselors in college, in high school, to say, you know what, you can only apply for what you're qualified for. And if you don't have all the qualifications, don't apply. You don't apply for that job. Where you never know, that's because you don't have everything. You may have what's needed, and your additional or your skill set that's outside of that position may be what sets you apart from someone else. So self-limiting beliefs, he talks about removing those from our lives. The other one is he talks about how to turn every challenge into a success. So when I'm presented with challenges, instead of saying, "Oh, this is too hard for me," or I can't get through this. Look at it as, number one, I'm going to learn from this challenge, and number two, I'm going to look at it as a success. So turn it into a success versus the negative. And number three is freedom from all fears. And that one to me is so important and something that resonated with me a lot, because many times I've operated out of fears, or I have not done something out of fears. And so to remove my fears, then I start to have freedom to be myself, freedom to go for whatever I want to go for, freedom to make that first step in whatever area I need to make that first step in, freedom to speak up for myself, freedom to believe in myself. And so those were the things that, the three takeaways. One of the things too is this book was written in 1967. Yet and still, these principles they talk about in the book and the stories that he tell are very relevant to our lives today. So I would encourage you to check out the book. Again, the book name is Grow Rich with Peace, um, by Napoleon Hill. It is also on Audible, so I did um, listen to it as I was walking, because it is, I think, quite a few hours on Audible. One of the quotes that I got from the book is, "Peace of mind helps you live your life on your own terms, in values of your own choosing, so that every day your life grows richer and greater." So peace of mind is very important. And as we pursue peace of mind and we learn to let go of our fears, we learn to turn challenges into things that we can learn from. When we remove self-limiting beliefs, then we can walk in have peace of mind, and we have more control of our lives, if that makes sense. So those were the two books that I've completed over the last probably a month and a half, I think, maybe, because I've been listening to books, I've been reading books, I've been preparing for mastermind classes. So I've been a little bit and attending virtual conferences as well. But the third book that I want to share is the book that I am actually reading right now, which is The 15 Valuable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. So in this book, and this is the book that our mastermind group, we're now in week 5. I am starting a new mastermind group on this book the first week of November, and it will be on a Monday. So if you are interested in that, please let me know. But I will also include a link in the in the chat of where you can register. But that book contains 15 laws of growth. And what I do like about the book is that it's very applicable to my life. And for my mastermind participants, they pretty much been saying the same thing. It's a book that makes you think. It's a book that makes you want to take action on some things that you may have been putting off. It's a book that really can cause you to make some changes as well. So personal growth is what John talks about in the book, and each law is something that will shows us how to continue on our personal growth journey. So my top 3 favorite laws in the book, the law of intentionality, which I did speak about this when I first started the videos Tuesdays with Dorothy. So if you want to go back, it is in my Facebook page and YouTube channel, the law of intentionality, where just be intentional about everything you do. And really what John talks about is that growth doesn't just happen. We have to make it happen. We have to be intentional about growing. We don't just, when it comes to personal growth, that doesn't happen like how we grow physically. So we have to be more intentional. The second law that is my favorite is the law of awareness. And law of awareness says that I must know myself to grow myself, which means that who am I? You know, what are my personality? What is my personality? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my skills? What are my talents? What are my gifts? Those type of things I need to know in order to know how to grow myself, how to be the best version of the Artie that I can be, how to be my most authentic self. I need to have the law of awareness, and just know that the law of intentionality is the first law in the book, and the law of awareness is the second law of the book. But the law of consistency, which is my third favorite, is number 5 in the book. And the law of consistency is so relevant for me because many times I've struggled over my life with being consistent. Many times I would start a new initiative, start a new project, and then I would jump around and start something else, and then jump around and start something else. And I would look back over 3 months of my life and go, I have not completed any of those projects because I keep jumping around. And so um, the law of consistency really says, be consistent. You have to do a little bit each day. Do that versus trying to accomplish everything at one time. And many times we don't do that. So when it comes to my growth, instead of trying to read one book in 2 weeks, I'm taking few little pages every single day, because I know at a certain time frame I will finish that book and I will have my takeaways and my lessons learned from that book. So that is the third book that I'm actually still reading, because we're, of course, as I was saying earlier, we're in our mastermind group. So that book I'm continuing to read. I have started reading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, I believe. So the next time I share books that I read, I will share my lessons learned and takeaways from that book as well. So John Maxwell says, you will never change your life until you change something you do every day. All 3 of the books that I've shared today really will cause you to change your mindset, and even look at your belief system. Belief system pretty much about you, about yourself. Belief system about what you can achieve. Belief system about money, for example. And so many times we are who we are because of what we were told we were younger. And sometimes as an adult, we could carry those things on, and we don't change. We just stay in our comfort zone, and we're afraid to change. So I would encourage you to to really take some time, read some books, figure out what books you want to read. There are so many books out there on personal growth. There are so many books out there on the mindset and many books about motivation. So find something that you can read and read it or listen to it on Audible, or get it electronically, but invest in yourself. And that's the one thing that I've decided to do more in the last couple of months, but even when I was younger and a teenager, um, I love to read. I've always loved to read when I was a kid, but when I got old enough to really understand that there's a difference between reading for fun and reading to grow or reading to be motivated or inspired, then I really start to read more books about leadership, motivation, personal growth than I did of books that were just entertaining. So I would encourage you to take that opportunity and read some books that are that will change, that will help you. And we all have goals and dreams, and books that will help you to get the right mindset to be able to achieve your goals and dreams. So I mentioned earlier that I am hosting a mastermind group. So a personal growth mastermind group. So a mastermind group is getting together with like-minded people to discuss a book or a topic. And for us, we are discussing the book, The 15 Valuable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And this mastermind group is going to start November 2nd. I will put the registration link in the chat with this video. But if you are just ready to go to the next level, to make some changes in your life, to just be motivated, maybe with, COVID-19, you're working from home and you're just a little frustrated, a mastermind group can sometimes just give you that boost, to be able to, instead of focusing on the negative that's happening, that you begin to focus on the positive. And so for me, the mastermind group, even though I'm the facilitator, has helped me tremendously. I've been going through some personal and a tough time, but the mastermind group has really kept me motivated. So if you are interested, I definitely recommend it. And so reach out to me if you have any questions. The other thing, for the whole month of October, I am serving kids, youth, and young adults. So I'm having a virtual book reading for kids, and you can find the event in the event tab on the Facebook page. I will also include that link in the chat. But also, I had a class last Saturday with some youth about attitude, which is really, really good. And so that's one couple lessons. The next lesson I'm going to teach about is growth. And so we're using the curriculum, and the youth and the young adults are really learning about character traits that they can develop. And the last thing I will be doing at the end of the month is a personality assessment for youth and young adults that will give them their personality style, but also give them ideas of what careers will fit with their personality style. So those are important. So if you, I have some events that are scheduled, but if you would like to pull a group of kids together or youth together and just want me to present something virtually through Zoom, I can do that as well. Just reach out to me for that. So last but not least, my question for this week is, what are you reading? And I would love to know what you're reading. If you want to put it in the chat, that'll be great. Also, for those who are on YouTube, you can follow me in the channel and post it there. So I thank you for joining me live, for those who did, and for those who are watching the replay. Thank you so much for giving me your attention for a few minutes on a Tuesday. I'll be back next week with more discussion on the 15 valuable laws of growth. And I think we're going to be talking about the law of awareness, which would be great. So have a wonderful rest of your evening and a wonderful week. Happy October, and may you find peace and joy during this time. Thank you. Bye for now.